Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Katarina. Today I wanted to just sit down and have a little chat with you about my goals and intentions for 2025, especially when it comes to makeup and beauty. So we're going to talk about things like my makeup collection and what direction I want it to go, my beauty spending and shopping, project planning, and also YouTube, because YouTube is really much connected to my beauty consumption since I do film videos about beauty. So I'm excited to share some thoughts that I have with you, but I will say right away that I'm not going to be doing any official big project like a no-buy. I want to kind of like find a sustainable way for me to do things. I want to find balance between enjoying things and being mindful about my consumption. So in a way, I think I kind of want to do some sort of a low buy and keep that mindset of not over consuming, but also at this point, I don't want to set any strict rules for myself. And next year, I only want to do things that make me happy and to not force myself to do things that I really don't want to do. Let's dive a little bit deeper into these topics. So first, let's talk about my makeup collection. And I think this is an area where I went from one extreme to another or towards another, but it is now almost a decade ago. In fact, in 2025 it will be a decade since I became a makeup hobbyist. In 2015 I started writing a beauty blog. Later that year I started filming videos. I did film them for the first couple of years in Finnish, and then in 2018 I started this channel. And the first few years I did buy a lot of makeup. I really wanted to collect it. Then in 2018 I found project planning, and in 2019 I did a whole beauty replacements only no-buy year, and since then I have been more or less in a no-buy low-buy journey and in a journey to own less. During and after my pregnancies I really wanted to go towards a minimal makeup collection. And especially after getting my son, when I took a break from YouTube, I even announced that I'm going to quit YouTube altogether. Right now, my makeup collection is small and curated, but it's not minimal. Although there are certain areas that are down to one product, so I don't really have other options to use. But then there are categories where I do have more variety, mainly when it comes to color cosmetics, and I actually do enjoy that variety because I like to change makeup colors a little bit when it comes to different seasons. I like to keep it that way. I don't want to, for example, have only one or two lipsticks to use. So I think size-wise I'm pretty happy where my makeup collection is right now, and I will be filming a makeup inventory video in January where I will share with you my current numbers. I don't think the numbers themselves are really different from my last makeup inventory, but I will say my makeup collection has changed quite a bit. I think in end of August I did a declutter where I finally decided to let go of a lot of things that I just didn't enjoy. Then in September I realized that I am getting a reaction from really old and expired eyeshadow, and that whole experience made me just realize that using old makeup, no matter how beautiful it is and no matter how much I maybe once enjoyed it, it's not worth of the risk of getting a reaction. So yeah, I decided to declutter everything that is just really old and expired. And then soon after that I realized that my color season is most likely wrong. So I had been typed as warm autumn previously. At this point I am just really confused with the color analysis, and at this point I'm not even sure if I want to get another opinion for my color season, because I don't necessarily want to then get too obsessed with a new result. So right now I just want to wear what I like, but I know for sure that I am not a warm autumn. I just don't think that I am warm and muted enough to be a warm autumn. So I had quite a bit of really warm autumn appropriate makeup, or even some little bit cooler makeup, but makeup that was more muted in tone, and I decided to declutter that. And then when I realized that I am most likely neither what I thought that I am, I allowed myself to purchase some new makeup. So I did buy, they were kind of like impulse purchases, but some makeup from Catrice and Essence. And then my husband and I went to Tallinn, Estonia to take an anniversary trip. So I bought some new makeup from there, and I even filmed a whole video about that. And then for Black Friday I did have a wish list, and I shared a video of that with you also. But I didn't buy everything from that wish list, but I did buy some makeup also. So long story short, size-wise, most likely my makeup collection is pretty close to my last inventory, but the products have changed a lot. I don't think I want to really grow my makeup collection because, as I said, I had to declutter some old and expired makeup, and if anything, that experience taught me that I don't want to keep makeup for too long. So I rather want to have a small and compact collection, not necessarily super minimal in all areas, just because, as I said, I enjoy variety and I do enjoy changing the colors a little bit during different seasons. But also I have noticed that when I have had an idea of that super minimal collection, I get too obsessed over having a perfect inventory, having a perfect routine, having a perfect set of products, and it can get a little bit too far. So I want to have a small and compact collection that has a little bit of wiggle room, but I want to be mindful about the size because right now I know that I won't keep the products for years to come. Like, I had some products still in the early fall that were from 2015. No, like, I think it depends a little bit on a product type, but right now I would say 3 years is kind of like around when I would try to use up the product. For example, I did start a Pantat face palette with this palette. It was my last video. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Nude Gasm palette. So this will turn 3 years next summer, and I have now decided that 2025 is the last year that I'm going to keep this palette, and that's why I made it my Pantat face palette, because I still want to get some good use out of that before it needs to go. I want to be mindful about the size of my collection and get good use out of my products before they expire. And also, if I have very much options, I tend to get pretty overwhelmed. That is something that I have experienced, so that is another reason. So yeah, size-wise, I think I want to keep my collection around where it is. Probably there will be some products that will be leaving, like those some old makeup products that I'm now focusing on. Maybe something will come in, but I'm not going to be super strict about it. And certainly some categories are that way, that I finish everything that I have, then I buy new product. For example, complexion products tend to be products like that for me. But then let's move on to actually beauty shopping. If the first point was just about the makeup collection size, now I want to talk about shopping and specifically spending. I think in 2025 I want to be more mindful about my beauty spending, and I want to get back on tracking my spending. Also, I want to get back on tracking what is leaving my collection, both empties and declutters. And I used to track everything that came in and went out, but I stopped doing that on some point. Probably during my second pregnancy. Maybe it was during that time that I felt I don't need to do it anymore. But I do notice now that if I don't track everything, I don't really have a clue what I'm spending on beauty, and then things may get a little bit out of control sometimes. So I definitely want to get back on tracking, but I don't only want to track my spending, but I want to be really mindful about the prices too. I honestly think that the days when I would splurge on high-end makeup are over. And I will say, for a while I have been more into drugstore, especially when it comes to products that need to be repurchased often. But I'm starting to feel that even with those products that I buy more rarely, it's getting more and more difficult for me to be able to justify the high prices. For example, in the past I was a lot into Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks, but the prices of them have gone up recently. Now I think the price of the Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks from the places where I can get them are 36 euros each. And yes, they make beautiful colors. Yes, I do really much enjoy their formula, but it's a lot, especially since I do enjoy some variety on lipsticks. So how much am I going to get use out of that Charlotte Tilbury lipstick specifically compared to my other lipsticks? So it's getting harder. Now, I'm not saying that I will never splurge on a high-end product anymore. Maybe if I can get a high-end product with a good discount, I could do it. And I did buy some high-end makeup on Black Friday. Well, maybe I will show you an example. So I did buy, because I wanted to get a product from Iconic London anyways, I ended up buying 3 products from them. So I got their highlighter, the lit and luminous one. This one was on my beauty wish list and I knew that I would get it no matter if it is on sale or not. And it happened to be on a good sale. I think the retail price was like 34 euros and it was on a sale for 20 euros. I thought that I want to spend enough to get to 50 euros because at that point you could get a free brush set and a free shipping. So it just made sense for me to get to there because there were other products that I wanted from the brand. So one was the blush and highlighter duo. So this one is the Rose Glow one, and in my wishlist video I said that I would actually like to add a pink blush to my collection. I said that I'm not in a hurry, but I'm going to keep my eyes open, and this felt like the perfect opportunity. I think the retail price of this duo is closer to 50 euros and it was on a sale for 28. And then one more product, and this is also something that I mentioned in my beauty wishlist video. I said that I want to try some glowy face products. So this one, the retail price 34 and it was on a sale for 20. Now, I wouldn't normally these days spend money on a high-end setting spray because it is a more quickly going product compared to something like a blush or a highlighter. But I think the discount was good enough for me to be able to justify it. Just to show you that I'm not necessarily always super strict about things, like if there is a really good discount on a product that I normally wouldn't spend high-end money on. And also sometimes I maybe want to treat myself with a more higher-end product. But as I say, for the most part, I think the days when I would splurge on high-end makeup are kinda over. I just do have so much other financial priorities currently than having an expensive beauty routine. And oftentimes drugstore brands make amazing products. Sometimes the packaging is not that great, but also sometimes with high-end products the packaging is bulky and kinda unnecessary, and yeah, sometimes it is nice, but also sometimes drugstore brands make nice packaging. And when I get the makeup on my face, no one is going to know how much it cost me, except my wallet. Now, even if I have extra money, I would rather put it towards something else. For example, towards travel, or even save the money, especially since in 2025 there will be an increase in my income because I will start my internship and it is a paid one. So I absolutely don't want it to happen that I will get more money and I will also spend everything on more expensive products what I really need. Alright, then we are going to talk about project panning a little bit, and well, as I already mentioned, I started my Pan That Face palette project pan. I will be also doing some other project pans and I'm actually really excited about the projects that I will be doing. I will be doing Pan That palette. Then I am doing my seasonal lip product kind of like project pan and tracking thing again. And then I do think I want to make one kind of like overall project where I can pan other products, like makeup products other than eyeshadow and lip products, or skincare, hair care, whatever, all type of beauty products. And then I don't know yet if I'm going to do a separate project policy. I think I will do that kind of like all around project rolling style. That would be probably more flexible. So yeah, I will be doing a lot of project panning. However, this one is like one of the most important things for me to focus on in 2025. It is going to be a year completely free from hate panning. I'm somebody who always says that you shouldn't hate pan, like if you're not enjoying something, don't do it. It's not worth it. And still, I keep doing it myself. Now, it doesn't necessarily for me mean that I hate the product, but typically I use it to the point where I start hating it. So one example is that I'm forcing myself to go for heavier eyeshadow looks, what I would prefer, because I feel these days I just think less is more with eyeshadow for me. But still, even earlier this year when I was still panning my Too Faced Chocolate Bar eyeshadow palette, I did create some smokier looks, even on every day, because I wanted to make better progress on the freaking palette. And oftentimes I felt that the eyeshadow looks aged me, I didn't feel beautiful, I didn't feel like doing those looks, but I still did them in order to make better and quicker progress. I don't want to do anything like that in 2025. Also, I don't want to restrict myself to only project pan items. I think that is another way to get a look that I don't enjoy, that I force myself to combine all of my project pan items into one look. I would then rather have an approach that I'm going to use one product that is in a project, and other than that, use whatever I think looks good with that product. I do want to find balance between using up my products or just focusing on my project pan items, but also rotating through my collection, making sure that nothing is completely unused for the entire year. And also I want to get good use out of the newer products while they are still fresh and new. I want to do panning, but I want to do it in a way where I enjoy it. And if it starts to lean towards that hate panning thing where I'm not feeling like using my project pan items, it is okay for me to take a break. I don't think the progress, the visible progress that you make is the only way to measure if a project is successful. Sure, it is satisfying to hit a pan or finish an eyeshadow, but if you hated half of the looks that you did with the eyeshadow, was it really worth it? And can you call it a successful project? Oh, and one more thing I want to mention now that we are talking about panning and my makeup usage. Something that I have started doing a couple of months ago are monthly mood boards, and I even talked about my November mood board in a video. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be doing those videos anymore, but I will be creating a monthly mood board to my Pinterest each month. Because typically I like to take inspiration for my outfits and for my makeup looks from nature, from the season. So for example, now during the holiday season I have been more into festive looks. I do expect myself to be more into kind of like soft and simplistic looks in January. And it's just something that I enjoy and something that I feel I have not allowed myself to do in a really long time. Either I have been too focused on project panning, or then I have been too fixated on like seasonal color analysis or whatever. But now I feel I really want to get back to it and take inspiration from the season or whatever is inspiring me. So those monthly mood boards, now the couple of months that I have done them, have been super helpful, and I have been enjoying my makeup life way more than in a really long time. So I'm going to keep doing those, and I will link down below my Pinterest if you want to check it out. You can find my monthly mood boards there. Okay, so next I want to talk about YouTube, because as I said in the beginning of video, YouTube is for me really much connected to my beauty life. I think without YouTube, my beauty consumption most likely would look really different. I think that I would have kind of like a signature look that I would do day after day, and then another signature look for a special occasion. But honestly, I think that would be the case if I didn't have the channel. But I do have this channel and I love my channel, and although after my second pregnancy I thought I want to quit, I started really missing filming videos, just sitting here chatting. And I do feel, because I do have this channel and I do want to maybe experiment a little bit more, especially when I'm filming, my makeup life looks a little bit different now what it would look like without the channel. However, although I do love YouTube, I feel that I now need to take a step back from any goals that I have had for my channel. Especially in late summer and early fall, I got really excited with YouTube because I had quite a bit of time. I was studying from home and I just thought that I want to focus more on my channel. I set a goal that I want to film 2 videos a week. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but with my life it is. But then throughout the fall I noticed that the goals that I set for myself are too much, so I constantly kept lowering my goals and still I didn't reach the goals, and I felt miserable because of that. And then I noticed that I started to have those same kind of like YouTube burnout feelings that I have always had before taking a break, and I just decided that for 2025 I don't want to set any goals for myself when it comes to YouTube. Well, maybe there will be kinda some goals because some of my project pans I do want to update more regularly. The pan that face palette in every 3 months, and I did set it to be so rarely so that I don't have to worry about updating too often. Then another one that I will update in every 3 months will be the lip product project pan. Then the all around project, which will most likely be rolling 10 project pan. I think I want to update that in every 6 weeks. Especially if I'm going to do rolling style, so that I'm able to keep with the flow. If I finish something, roll it out and roll in something new. And then the one that I want to update most regularly will be the Panda palette. I think that I want to update monthly. And now that I talk about it, this amount of project sounds quite much for me, so maybe I won't do a separate project polish, but I will rather always include a nail polish in my rolling 10 pan project pan. I think that is probably the most realistic way to go about it. But yeah, so there's projects that I'm going to be doing and I kind of want to try to keep up with the updates, although I don't want to set a specific date that I always need to film my update on, like I have maybe done in the past. Like I have wanted to film a Panda palette update last day during the month, so that you know the progress is just about that month. Then I have been tracking. I won't be tracking any other uses except my lip product uses, because that I enjoy tracking. But even with eyeshadow panning, I know a lot of people like to see those numbers, like how many times I used it, but I feel it gets too stressful for me when I track too many things, so unfortunately I won't be tracking any eyeshadow uses. I just want to see if there is any visible progress. That's maybe like the goal. If nothing else, I want to keep up with those updates. But I won't set any goals about how often I need to upload otherwise, like 1 video a week or 2 videos a week or none of that, because it just gets too stressful. And in 2025 I have so much going on in my life. YouTube is really the last thing that I need to be stressing about, and I want to remember that this one for me is a fun hobby. Yes, I have been able to get to the point where my channel is monetized, but last year I got 140 euros of AdSense money, so we're not talking about an income that I could live off. Like, it is a nice extra, of course. I will admit, maybe at some point when I started noticing that the AdSense money that I could get each month goes up, maybe that motivated me to try a little bit harder with my channel somewhere like in summer, in early fall. But soon I started to feel a little bit burnt out, and then realistically this is not a way for me to make my living, and I don't necessarily want to think about the money that I could earn from it that much. The main point for me with YouTube is that I want it to be enjoyable and I want it to be stress-free in 2025. Then let's talk about future a little bit and maybe like my personal life. 2025 will be for me a huge year of change. So I am a student, but now I will move from being just a student to also working. So I will start my internship in January and I will be really busy with that. And then in 2025 I will also graduate. I don't know yet at which point it will happen. There is a possibility that it could happen in early fall, but at least in December I want to be done with my studies. At that point I would move to completely working for a while. I do want to study some more later, but maybe after a couple of years. But yeah, there will be a huge lifestyle shift from me just like being at home, studying from here, to actually going to office to a more professional setting. Although it's not super strict, like I have to wear a suit every day or anything like that. But there will be a lifestyle change. I don't know yet how it's going to affect my beauty consumption in future, or if it will affect it. I guess it will. And I do want to maybe, now that I will go and work, I want to see if my relationship with beauty changes, because I really can see there being the possibility for me wanting to again start going more and more towards having a minimal collection and having a signature look. I don't say that's going to happen for sure, but I can see that possibility being there. I feel right now I am just kind of like really enjoying makeup and all of that, but there have been times here and there I have felt that I'm kind of starting to be in the end of my makeup era and I'm just not getting the same enjoyment out of it anymore. So now that my lifestyle will change, maybe it will happen again. And then I want to move towards having a minimal makeup collection, having a signature style. So then I will need to figure out the way I want to go there, if I want to film videos about it, if I want to try to combine that with project planning content and all of that. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just maybe give you a heads up that things might change. But yeah, that was everything for today. This has been a long and rambly video, but I just wanted to sit down and explain all of these things so that you know with what kind of mindset I go to the new year. And I would also love to hear from you. If you're going to be doing any sort of low buy, no buy, beauty budget, anything like that, what do you think about project planning for 2025? Are you going to do a lot of different projects or are you going to be more relaxed about it? Let me know down in the comments if you have any thoughts or any questions about this video or about my plans for New Year. And thank you so much for sticking with me in 2024 and I wish Happy New Year for everyone. Thanks for watching and see you in my next one. Bye bye.